Looking for a business phone system with no hassles? Want to save on your phone bills? Call VoIP office on 248-436-3600. That's 248-436-3600 and get your business telephone system in just one day.
If you own or manage a medical practice and are looking for a medical biller who can help you collect payments on time, then look no further than Bill My Claims. Bill My Claims specializes in claims processing for all insurance carriers, including workers' comp and auto. Bill My Claims can help you get paid quickly and accurately. Bill My Claims specializes in dealing with payers so you can focus on what you do best, treating your patients. It's critical for providers to focus on delivering quality care with greater patient satisfaction since it affects your payments. Team with Bill My Claims are currently helping physical therapy, internal medicine, and family practices with their revenue cycle management. Bill My Claims can help with all your medical billing needs. Call us today at 734-237-3497 or go to www.billmyclaims.com.
ప్రజాపక్షం ఇది ఎన్ఆర్ఐ గొంతు ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాజకీయాలపై ఓ రాజకీయ విశ్లేషణ డిసిఎల్ రేడియోలో.
ఈ కార్యక్రమాన్ని మీరు డిసిఎల్ రేడియో అనే యాప్ని డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని వినవచ్చు. మీ అభిప్రాయాన్ని మాతో పంచుకోవాలనుకుంటే 248-264-3930 కాల్ చేయండి. 248-264-3930. Thank you.
What makes a face beautiful? A beautiful smile, of course. Dr. Sirisha Smile Centers. Call 248-813-7700. That's 248-813-7700. Conveniently located in Troy and Farmington Hills. Schedule as per your convenience and timing. Come to Dr. Sirisha Smile Centers. We'll put a smile on your face.
Welcome to DCL Radio Talk Show. We just concluded the successful first week of Detroit Cricket League 2018, and today we'll be discussing about the games that are done last week, and we'll do some prediction, and also I plan to touch little bit about umpiring headaches from captain's point of view and as well from committee point of view, how committee is thinking about these umpiring things. Okay, and before that, today we have a special person joining us. He'll be doing this analysis with us for the rest of the season. The gentleman of Detroit Cricket League, Imthi. Okay. Let me welcome him. Welcome to the show, Imthi.
Thanks, Jagan. Thanks for that introduction. I'm really glad to be here, and it's an honor to be on the show. Thanks to the DCL team, the radio team.
Good. We also have our senior most analyst, Venkat. Welcome, Vadnala.
Hi, Jagan. Welcome all the listeners.
And the most dangerous batsman, I should call him all-rounder, Jassy. Welcome.
Yeah, I will try to be, but thank you very much for that, and welcome all the listeners to second week, and a lot of exciting stuff to discuss, and welcome Imthi to be part of this show.
Okay, before as usual, before starting our analysis and jumping into all the details of analysis, I just would like to say thanks to last week umpires, Rehan Ibadat, Ishraq from FHCC, Challu, Arun Shankar, Sujit from Bulls, Santosh Kannan, Santosh Goli, Fanikumar from KRCC, Ravi and Koteshwar from Blues, Ramesh Satyavaram, Madhu Pattipati from Agni, Ronak, Ganesh and Satya from Glads, Deepak Raj Gariyappa and Arun Lavakumar from Nakars, Naveen Thakur, Bharat Gadari, Bharat Reddy from Mustangs, Okay, Pradeep Botta. See, when his Raptors captain, new captain Pardeep sent this umpire's note to the league, he forgot his own teammate's name. He typed it as Pradeep Gotta. It's not Pradeep Gotta, it is Pradeep Botta. Okay. Vikas and Parag. Thanks a lot, guys. You have done a wonderful job. With that, um, I'll I'll get into before I get into analysis part. I would like to also um, say happy birthday to Vaibhav Khanna of GLCC and Rao Ganta of Raptors. And I think Vadnala's birthday is also just a week ago. Am I right, Vadnala?
Oh no, it was on 21st April, Jagan.
Oh, okay. Somehow, you know, I felt like it is just a week ago. But anyways, happy birthday to all of these people, wonderful people who are part of this great DCL league. And now, getting into DCL, the first thing I want to touch today is let's do a quick analysis on how tough it is to provide umpires to the league from a captain's point of view. Okay, now I have 3 captains sitting here in the analyst group, so I just want to ask them how difficult it is, and any ideas this can be fixed in a different way. I'll start with Jasneet. Jasneet,
Yeah,
as a captain,
yeah,
what do you say?
yeah, yeah. It's. I would say headache is an understatement. To be honest with you, it's been a real pain to provide quality umpires for the matches. Like I've been struggling with this for last 2-3 years, and this year started with no difference because this week we have 4 umpiring assignments, and it's 9 p.m. Thursday night, and I should have sent a note to committee by now that these are my umpires. But unfortunately, I have just 1 umpire as of now, and I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with the other 3 assignments because that's how it is going. And we do not have a smaller roster that it's like 11 or 14, 15 people roster. It's a roster with more than 25 folks, but I don't know the reason, because whenever there is a match, somehow there is a zeal in everyone, and I think this must be with all the teams because there is a suddenly most of the guys becomes available because playing is a different thing than umpiring. But as soon as it is like to umpire a game, it's like every other commitment becomes a priority. So and it is actually not good because whenever we play a match or any other team play a match, I've listened to it at least 100 times that umpiring was not quality, umpiring was very poor, the umpire was clueless and all those stuff. So if at the one hand the expectation is that umpiring should be quality, then I think it is duty of each and every player, because it is very easy to blame a captain, but a captain here is not. We are not into a league where we are professionals or where there is a financial commitment of a player with the team that okay, this is your responsibility or things like those. So it should be I think it should be something that should be understood with every player of each team, that okay, if I'm part of a team and I'm playing a game, it is equally important to umpire a game and give my 100% there, because that's how others are sacrificing their stuff and umpiring for our games. But I don't see that's happening, and it's really unfortunate. And to be honest, I'm not sure what can be done, because there could be so many ideas. We can pay umpires. I mean, committee can rise the fees from $1,200 to $1,600, saying that okay, we are going to pay umpires, things like those. But with the current structure, I think it is very difficult for captains to arrange umpires, and especially now with 3 pools and more umpiring assignments than the previous year. I think it's gonna be very difficult. And I saw Arun from Knockers being captain of a team, of a champion team, I would say, and nobody taking responsibility of of a large pool, and he had to go to two places back to back, just a 9 a.m. game and then a 2 p.m. game in a different ground to umpire, and not seeing even, I mean, that's a shocker to me and not a good way to start the season in context of umpiring.
Okay, what do you say, Varnala?
Yeah, I think Jassy summarized well. I mean, it's definitely an understatement, and it's definitely a pain for all the captains. But again, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you have this trouble of finding. Definitely shouldn't be the first week, because that's when you have almost everybody available, and you have to pick the best, because you don't want to send just the heads. You want to send somebody who can actually take up that task and fulfill and do the best. So luckily, I mean, all the seniors from our team, stood up and said they would do it. And so I got lucky. But I know what Jassy is saying. I mean, not every team and not every captain is going to have a cakewalk. I mean, definitely they will be. And down the road, it will be a lot more. So I'm really surprised as what I'm hearing, that I don't have to go for 2 games. I mean, that is pathetic. I mean, it's really a disrespect to the team and to the captain. I mean, that he had to step up and go for 2 games. That's unheard. I mean, I really feel sorry for him. But yes, I mean, every team captain has that. But I mean, it's part and parcel, and they have to always be prepared and get prepared and plan well. And you have to have 12 assignments. So basically, whoever is in your main 12, should be doing the umpiring. I mean, you can't expect a 14th or a 15th or a 19th guy to do the umpiring, because, I mean, they are playing all the games. So like how we used to do it in our childhood, right? I mean, we used to take leads, I mean, or exchange them, that if I do this, you do that. Similarly, that, if they are core of the team, I mean, they have to also take up the core part of the team's responsibility, that is umpiring. And there's no other workaround, so they have to step up. Hopefully, I mean, it's a good topic, Jagan, but I think hopefully, I'm guessing that majority of the captains are listening to this show, and if anybody who are not the captains, I would encourage them to step up and help your captains and do your best. I mean, all you have to do is one umpiring job for the whole season. I mean, why not do it as early as possible and get rid of that off your shoulders?
Okay. Imthi.
I don't know if this was a coincidence or a planned topic for today, because all the 3 analysts here are sending umpires this week. So yeah, I think Jasneet and Venkat kind of summarized it well from a captain's perspective. It's usually we see every week when the umpires list is out. Most of the time, or I would say like almost every week, the captain is definitely going for umpiring, and it kind of puts a little extra burden on the captain, because he has to still arrange the other umpires and as well spend his time and go for umpiring, even though he has a big roster. So it kind of falls back onto the captain. He's always burdened with that extra. He's liable for that.
So I mean, I see what you guys are saying, but is there any fix for this one?
I can maybe what I did last year was, like, after a few years where we were going for repeated umpiring, what I did was I took the randomizer from our scheduler, and I just put everybody on the team in that randomizer and picked the 12 members for the season, and I just put them for umpiring, like, for the 3 weeks.
Fantastic. What do you do if somebody comes back and says that I'm not available, I'm out of town, or something like that?
No, I kind of gave them the flexibility of choosing their week, and once they're committed to it, they either have to go or they have to find a replacement, and that's their headache.
Oh, awesome. I hope every captain
Kind of worked last season, but again, this season, like, I only did that when I did not find volunteers last year. But this year, I think for the first week at least, I had volunteers who were ready to go for umpiring, and so it kind of worked out this year for me.
I think, Jassy, you have a solution there.
I don't think that's going to work for my team, because most of the team members in my team are playing other leagues also, like leather ball and the only answer that I get is both days we have games, so you can't do anything in that respect. I mean, it, I'm not sure any solution is gonna work with this kind of thing. What I think is what I think is we if I mean within our team we can do that. Okay, this incentive is available for a player. I mean, who can go to umpiring and things like that. That's something we need to discuss within our team. But yes, certainly we need to come up with something, because it's not just one weekend. It's like 3 or 4 more weekends coming like this deep into the season. So there has to be something with. I mean, and I'm pretty sure we might not be the only one, as Venkat and Imthi said, but I'm glad at least the senior folks among their teams or many other teams uh, are taking that responsibility. And I'm not blaming anyone in my team. Also, everyone has something to do that they can't make to the umpiring. But yeah, at least I'm expecting with other teams also that there should not be a thing like the captain of a team, Arun, and that too a champion team. I would again repeat, a champion team, a captain of a champion team going 2 places consecutive for 8-9 hours and doing umpiring. I think that is totally unacceptable and should not be repeated.
Okay, I mean, before we get into our analysis, I just would like to give a statement here. Sometimes umpiring in DCL is a very painful job, because the amount of, everybody sits very close in the dugout, and for every call you'll hear at least 10 different I don't know whether I can call those abuses, but definitely those are the sentences which don't go well, especially if somebody's standing there as umpire. Okay, that is one of the biggest problem DCL has. Okay, with that, let's get into our analysis part. The first game of the night is Blazers versus Avengers, and Blazers won this one convincingly. An important thing is I don't see any real Avengers there. Looks like they're all from Troy Cricket Club. Is that what I'm guessing? With that, I'll give it to Imthi. Imthi, quickly walk us through this game.
Yeah, like you said, I was also surprised to see, when I heard the name Avengers, I was expecting Rikin, Deepak, Amit, and all these regular players from Avengers to show up. But then I go to the ground and I see all yellow T-shirts. Then I got to learn that it was a merger with TCS Stallions, and most of the players from TCS Stallions are playing for Avengers now. So going into the game, Blazers won the toss and, as usual, elected to bat first. And the openers gave a very good start, scoring a very quick 30 runs in the first 4 overs, and that kind of started the momentum for the team. And Nimesh, our opener, he scored 24 runs, of which 3 sixes. This kind of batting we have never seen in Blazers, and this kind of gave us the momentum going into the game. And then only a few bowlers from the opponents were really bowling well, whereas other bowlers were leaking runs easily. They got some wickets, came back into the game, but then again, at this time, Hari, who was our main batsman last year also, this year he kind of started off really well, and it showed in his batting. From ball 1, he was striking really well, and then 29 balls he scored 50, so that kind of gives an idea of how well he was batting. And then some here and there important contributions from Saif and Ketan, and then that helped our team to score 129 in 22 overs. This would have been even more if we played the full 25 overs quota. But yeah, 129 is still a very good score. Halfway through the game, pressure on the Avengers team. Pick of the bowlers from Avengers was Shreyas Bowler with 4 wickets. And when they started to chase, there was only one batsman who was giving real tough competition. He was the only one who was having the intent to go and score runs, whereas the other end, wickets were falling. One thing that we observed was pace bowlers. It wasn't a day for the pace bowlers in our team. myself and Vimal were not getting the line and length that we really wanted, and like quickly realized that this is not a pitch for fast bowling. And then I just went out with 4 bowlers, and that really worked wonders immediately. Like they picked up wickets very quickly, and it was like wickets falling in regular intervals, and then they folded for 61 in 16 overs.
Okay, fantastic. The next game of the night is Pokeries versus SSK. Venkat. Pokeries all out in 23 overs for 108. Though SSK is still a new team, baby in this league, but they bundled Pokeries in 23 overs, though they scored 108 runs. Based on this ball, which I consider is 100 is going to be very less, especially against a new team. What do you say?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, to begin, I think we should definitely all agree that this year the hard ball, the 1-2-2-8, is definitely going to fetch or help the batsmen, because it's going to travel a lot, and for bowlers, it's going to be a nightmare because they have to be very magical and creative to get your overs done at a good economy rate and get few breaks here and there. So. And I'm not surprised that Vimal and Imthi, they only bowled 2 overs each, and they gave up, and they gave the turn to the other bowlers. Probably they were not trying too hard as what we usually do. I mean, that exactly happened in our game too. So I'm not surprised. And I think this is what we're going to hear a lot. We're definitely going to hear a lot of 120s, 150s, and even 200s if somebody goes banging, like we already seen in one of the games. But it's definitely 50s and 100s are going to be very popular this season. I'll be very honest on that. So, and knowing that, I mean, Pokeries getting all out for 108 and not even putting their full team for the 25 overs, I think is a surprise. But I think definitely Southfield Super Kings did their homework. I see that Philip Thomas, who is my good friend and been a good, passionate cricketer for many years, who had been playing for Dynamites, has now joined Southfield Super Kings. So that tells that Lingappan did his homework, got few talents, joined.
And Ramesh joined SSK.
And Ramesh, yep, you're right. So that tells that Southfield Super Kings is not the same team as last year. So I mean, that wouldn't surprise me that they got out Pokeries for 108. But again, if you see, they still had their own core team: Raviteja, Ranjit, Prasanna, Avinash. So I see everybody part of the 11 that played. So it still surprises me, but I think kudos to Southfield Super Kings, who actually bowled probably decently although they were giving 5 runs and over, but they were getting breaks and trying to get them all out. So I think the top scorer from Pokeries stands to be Ranjit, and good partnerships from Raviteja and Prasanna, as always they've been. So push them past 100, and I think that was a good score, because when Pokeries' strength is always 4 or 5 batsmen and 4 or 5 bowlers. That's always been for years now, and we know that the same 5 bowlers: Prasanna, Ranjit, Ravi, Shanmugam, Avinash, and they did the job and got the 2 wickets or 1 wicket and got those runouts and tumbled Southfield Super Kings. The good opening stand from Southfield Super Kings is Arvind, I think, who is the one who actually stood there for quite a while and didn't get support from the other batsmen. But I think there's a lot for them to learn, and I think it's a new team, a new mix-up, so they need to get used to and have that common understanding between each other to help each other.
Okay, the next one, MCC Miles versus Warriors. Jassy.
Yeah, as I said in the first week of our radio show last week, that it would be a mistake with this ball to consider 70s and 80s a par score, a winning score. So I think I was right in predicting that this tournament is going to be high scoring. I mean, it was a no-brainer actually. So that was the mindset that every team is coming into it now, and the actually the situation and the conditions are helping the batsmen out a lot more than the previous seasons. So fortunately, to I think the only way a bowling team can benefit out is either start with on a high or finish on a high, and I think what Warriors did good for, thankfully, Bhargav was at his prime and giving that extra pace and taking those 4 wickets up front inside the 5 overs. His first 3 overs yielded 3 wickets for us and another wicket, 4 wickets for us, and another wicket also fell down. So I think MCC Miles uh, were restricted to, I think, 20 odd for 5 wickets inside 6 overs. But Praneeth and Karthik had a fantastic partnership. Both batted beautifully and just let their players know, the previous batsmen know that this is a totally different ball game if you apply yourself, and you can score briskly, uh, at least with a strike rate of 70 plus. It is very easy to score with this ball, and the conditions were also windy, which was supporting the batsmen in at least the wood heaven. And so they capitalized and had a decent partnership which took them over 50. And then another player from that team partnered with Karthik for ninth wicket, and they also added, I think, 30 odd runs, which took them over 85. And then Karthik also for the last wicket finished the game pretty nicely with MCC Miles finishing on exactly 100. So I think it was a commendable effort on behalf of Praneeth and Karthik, but also from Bhargav, who made sure that they did not get a power start and their power plays restricted to as less as possible in terms of runs. But one thing was clear that, and I think this would be a trend in this tournament going further also, that chasing team, if they apply themselves, if they are mentally strong, if they make sure that you have to exactly bat like if you are batting first. There is, I mean, for chasing, the only thing would be, I think, critical would be to take the scoreboard pressure out of your mind, because this is now a ball where you can catch up at any point of time in your inning. You don't have to maintain the required rate from the word go, because you just can wait for your weak link in a bowling lineup. You because you know there would be someone who would not be as good as the opening bowlers, or I mean, it's more like realizing now who to target, who to not, because it is almost like clearing the boundary at will. So if you back yourself, if you choose your bowlers, I think you can easily catch up at any point of time. So I think 100 is going to be par score in this year DCL, 100, 120. And just the chasing team has to be a little smart, and that's what exactly Warriors opener and top order capitalized. And Jashu was fantastic on his day and made sure that he came back with raising the bat and finishing the game. And he had a fantastic partnership with Dhruv for the second wicket, and I think they added 60 odd runs, with which was in the end pretty good enough for MCC Miles, who were just hoping that they get a wicket pretty soon so that they can sneak through the middle order of Warriors. But I think Jashu and Dhruv were immaculate on their day, and Saurabh Puri from Dynamites, who played for Dynamites for years now. Warriors team is, I think, pretty lucky to have him and Anil from Dynamites this year, as they both are power hitters, and I think they both would back themselves to be good enough with this ball particularly. So I think Saurabh had a good outing with the bat in the end, and Jashu and Saurabh finished pretty convincingly and inside 18 overs, chasing 100 inside 18 overs is, I think, magnificent, because for the first 13, 14 overs, there wasn't even a single risky shot that was played.
Hello.
Yeah, so I think that made it really special that they did that without taking any risks up to 15th over.
Okay. The next one is Safaris versus Strikers. Imthi.
Yeah, so the matchup, Safaris versus Strikers, it was a one-sided matchup, I think, at least just looking at the team name. Safaris is a new team led by Venkat Kolla, and I don't see any known names in the team, so I am assuming this is a completely new team. So that will need some special performances against a quality side like Strikers if they had to put up some competition. Uh, Strikers, on the other hand, even though Parthiv, Raj, and Rahul Chavaji are now in Raptors, I think Strikers is still a very, very good team with experienced players like Tushar, Kapil, Nikam, Rahul Nikam, and Jagan. So going into the game, Strikers won the toss and elected to bowl. I think that was because they had loads of experience and they're playing against a new team, so maybe they just wanted to check out the opponents first. Safari's batting first. I don't see any real big contributions or starts from their players. Just one lone performance, Raj Chekuri with 19 runs. I think he tried his best to get some momentum into the game, but other end wickets were falling. Looks like looking at the scorecard, no double-digit scores, so that meant they were bundled out for 56 in 21 overs, and good bowling performances from Jagan and Tushar, picking 3 wickets each. That shows their quality in bowling with the loads of experience that they have. And then halfway through the game, 56 chasing with this new hard ball. I think it was easy cakewalk for Strikers. Some quick wickets fell, looks like, but then Nikhil and Tushar steadied it, and they made sure that they didn't lose any more wickets and finished in like 16 overs. Bowling from Safaris, decent bowling by Raj and Sasanka, but real big breakthroughs. So that meant it was an easy chase in the end for Striker. Performance-wise, Tushar for his 3 wickets and 17 runs, man of the match. So like very good performance from Tushar. So I'd like to just congratulate Strikers on the win and good luck to Safaris for the next games.
Though Safaris is new team, they were able to play 21 overs. That is one, positive thing they can see out of this innings. All they have to do is, find the gaps. And the other thing is they took 5 wickets in 15 overs. So had they scored close to, 90 runs or the par scores 100, current par scores, minimum 100, right? Had they scored that many runs, Strikers, probably they were, it could have been different game.
Yeah, like you said, that's a very good observation actually, Jagan. But like maybe this is their first game, so there is a learning curve involved. So I think they will definitely pick up. Like looking at the performance,
let's hope for the best. And yeah, the next game is Karnataka Eagles versus Brownstone. It is completely one-man show. Venkat.
Yep. I think the talk was already in the town. The talk was already in the town that Brownstone scored 200 runs, and by Saturday afternoon, it was in everybody's news that hey, there's no surprise, and as I said, it's going to be batsmen's year this year, and I'm not surprised that they had a mammoth 198, and that 198 comes with a good contribution from our old friend Mansur Butt, 92. We all know that he's crazy. If he's in doing well, I think he will probably go nuts. I think he tells that he was whacking and got some good support from Saad, and they put a very decent partnership and put this decent score, kind of giving out a statement out there once again saying that we can't forget this guy. So happy for him, happy for the team, Rashid and Rehan. I think they still are in the competition. That kind of tells us right from the day one. So any team, if they are playing Brownstone, never take them easy, because they always surprise you, and they have the talent that can surprise you. KCC being a new team, I will not let them down. I think they still did their best. One thing, when if you see their scorecard, first I thought that all 11 bowled, but it's not the case. I think it was a duplicate. So all the 6 bowlers had their bowling figures duplicated on the scorecard. So only 6 guys bowled actually. So that kind of is the same with the batting too, that all their figures are doubled or listed twice.
They should have won. The Colony should have.
If you count all the number of runs they scored, I mean, they got
206.
206, and they got 14 wickets. So, well, anyways, but yeah, it's being a new team. I think we can't underestimate this new team too. I mean, Karnataka Eagles, I've seen them in other tournaments. They have a good talent, a good bunch of talent, and they can definitely put any other opponent in a place where they have to struggle to get their win or even get some points. So I think KACC is definitely to be one of those teams that from the new bunch. I mean, KACC and Legends. I think these two are very good teams, and we can't underestimate these new teams as new teams because they have good talent. So hard luck to KACC and good luck. I mean, congrats to Brownstown.
Okay, the next one is Panthers versus GLCC. Jassy.
Yeah, I think this was much awaited contest, as I would say, because Panthers promised a lot in the preseason also and in the previous season that they are a constantly improved team. But I think on the given day, I think there was almost no contest, thankfully, to some brilliant individual performances from GLCC team in Akash and the openers like Ronak and Akash both. Actually, Akash had a wonderful all-round game. So I think GLCC started on a bang and making the most use of the power play of the restriction in the first 3 overs. I think they went berserk and got their team off to a flyer and made sure that the coming batsmen would never be under the scoreboard pressure that they have to catch up things to get a decent score. So I think that is one strategy that the teams might look at, because it might be pretty successful to get some pressure off the middle overs if you can take risk up front. So I think Ronak and Akash both took risks, and it paid dividend, and they got off to a flyer. And Nalin also playing one down, which I haven't seen him doing much, but I think it proved out to be a good move because he also contributed decently. And then I think it was to their middle and lower middle order to finish on a high, but I don't think they scored as much as they would have thought at one point of time after Ronak and Akash's partnership was going. I think they should have touched 150, but that's an advantage that either in the first few overs or in the death overs, if you get most out of any one of it, you are still into the game. And if you get both working in your way, then I think you take the opposition out of the game already in one innings. But I think 126 still midway. Panthers would have thought that they could have achieved it, and I think that's where they did not play the game smartly in the second innings, because I think what they did was to go bang from the very first ball, which I don't think would be a smarter idea. Just to see that it's good to be positive actually, but there has to be a smartness involved. And I think after Rohit and Raghu's partnership, nobody tried to apply himself that. But I would also give credit to GLCC bowling, because I don't see any weak link actually in this bowling lineup. So maybe Panthers batsmen would have felt that they cannot wait any further, and they have to take their chances, which on that given day did not work for them. And I think they were bundled out for 60 and had GLCC their first win with more than 60 runs, which is pretty convincing, because till last year 60-65 was a target that a bowling team might have thought that they can defend. But to win with a margin of more than 60 runs, I think is huge. And but I would still not discount Panthers out on the basis of this performance, because they were up against a champions team. And I think if they sort out their strategy in batting against quality opponents and provide responsibilities to each and every batsman, I think they can still do the job.
Yeah, see, just to add this one, there's something called catches win the matches, right? In this match, what happened was Panthers were really playing good. Okay, and their scoring was good. Everything was good. Just one catch. Rohit caught in bowled by Nalin. Nalin was completely parallel to the ground. He took a wonderful catch. That changed the entire game. After that, it's like in the same over, Nalin took another wicket. Akash came and he took another 3 wickets in the next over. Like that, everything happened so quickly. So after that, you know, it was very difficult for Panthers. It was difficult on Panthers. Okay. The next one is Falcons versus Canton 11. Venkat.
Well, yes. I mean, as I again emphasize that this ball is definitely helping the batsman, but it was not the case the first 12 overs. I mean, the first 12 overs is after Canton 11 winning the toss and elected to bat. Not a surprise. Even we would have elected to bowl because it was very damp and the ball was not coming onto the bat very well. So we were able to take the advantage and get Canton 11 only about 30 odd runs in the first 12 overs, so which was quite usual and similar as last year. But the next 13 overs completely changed the momentum for Canton 11 when especially Najid, I mean he goes by Naj, was dropped and was given an opportunity, and he pretty well availed that opportunity and went bang, and he scored about 31 runs within no time, actually speaking. Although the ball says 30, it didn't feel like that way. He was definitely on the front end playing good, smacking shots all over the leg side, and the wind was also helping. This is a little bit an advantage when you have a wind and you have a ball that is heavy, and if you're just hitting it in the air and it would go all the way. So that was the case, and but again, they definitely utilized the opportunity of hitting those balls that were on bad spots and getting those out of the boundary. And along with him, Haider, I mean, this guy has a lot of power. I mean, he definitely is very sturdy and has good arms, and the way he was hitting the ball was also amazing to see that this ball can fly anywhere. His 2/4, I think 1 2/4 and 1/6 were definitely beautiful shots that anybody would enjoy, irrespective whether you are playing for that team or the opponent. But I think the overall the Canton 11, it's a mixture. I think Raza Ali joined them back. Surprise again. Raza Ali is still trying to find that team. It looks like I think he's come back to his mates with Javed and Brar and Naz and Shakil and Junaid. I think it's a good bunch of team, and I think they definitely have more talent. I heard, because I think the same team played in for the winter tournament. I think inside indoor tournament, and I think I heard very good about them. So I don't know if their talent belongs to.
GLCC in the indoor tournament.
They played what?
They beat GLCC in quarterfinals or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I mean, I thought they would be coming with the same spirit and knock us out, but their bowling was not that great as their batting was. So I think that helped Falcons to chase a big score. It's been very rare Falcons chasing a big score, and I think with this ball and again with the ball slowing down, I think it's definitely going to help the batsman. And I think we talked in the middle that said that, hey, we have to utilize the same situation. If the opponent team can score that many runs, we should be able to. And that's exactly what our team did. And I think kudos goes to Dilip and Sudhir. After losing Krishna for the mere score, they both stood up, and I think they went all the way till the middle of the innings. And I think in the 13th over, they got out, both of them. But they did do their job by putting a good 50-plus partnership and played excellent, utilized the situation. And that helped the rest of the players to score. And Siddharth, Sid was definitely, again, one of the batsmen who actually helped the team power the score with his unbeaten 25 runs with 2/4. Overall, it was a good game, but I think we still have to face some good teams. As we all know, that Pool B has a lot of challenges and good teams among themselves. And having said that, we are happy to announce that Binod Singh is back to Falcons.
Okay, I just came to know yesterday. I met Binod. He said he moved back to Falcons. And apart from that, I have a question for you. What happened to Shaquille? It says retired hurt.
Yeah, actually, that move. I mean, he was intentionally. I think they wanted some other hitter to come and replace him. That was a surprise to me because he was actually one of the main batsmen who was actually always sticking and getting the runs. But he didn't have that power that Naz or Haider had. But they tried to bring Raza, and Raza got out at the very first ball. So that was like, I mean, yeah, if Raza Ali did his job and probably smacked a few more runs, I think we would say the captain's decision was good to retire Shaquille. But in this case, it didn't really help. And Shaquille was one of the key batsmen, I think, who really played well in the first 15 overs.
Do we have an option called retired out? I mean, that is one of the outs.
Yes, it is kind of out. But he was trying to sweep, and he got the ball and came and hit his chest. So they might say that hey, he's hurt. So we can't prove how he's hurt or what the amount of hurt injury it was.
But if somebody walks out just like that without giving any reason, that is out. That is considered as out.
Right.
The next one is Dark Horses versus TCA Knights. Okay, with Binod Singh moving out, I thought Dark Horses will be in trouble going forward, but it looks like they played really well against Knights. Imthi, your thoughts?
Yeah, on that same note, like even if Binod, I think even last year he only played a few games for Dark Horses. I didn't see him as a regular presence in the team. But anyways, based on last season's performances and on paper, this matchup was looking very interesting. Knights versus Dark Horses. But looking at the scorecard, I feel it was a one-sided game. Just to go through the game stats, Dark Horses won the toss, elected to field. That's a surprising move, but it could be the field because they were playing in Ypsilanti, and usually in the beginning of the season there are complaints with that ground. So I don't know. I'm just guessing it could be the ground, and they might have decided to field first. TCA Knights, their opener was Tarun Vempati, who alone has a double-digit score. I think he scored 19. 26 of 38 balls, and then not any big contributions from other team members. Like I see a 7 and 9 and 5, like all single-digit scores. And in the end, like extras helped them, like 19 extras from Dark Horses. Maybe that helped them post a decent score of 78 in 21 overs. Looking at the bowling figures, the usual suspects, Pankaj, their always reliable bowler for Dark Horses, picking 3 wickets for just 8 runs. That's a very, very good economy. And then Jashwant picking up 4 wickets. I think like when you have 2 or more bowlers bowling like very economically and picking wickets, the opponents always like they have hard time scoring runs and keep the scoreboard ticking. That is seen like 78. If this was like the old T-ball, this would have been a very, very competitive score. But with this new ball, I think it was more of an application thing for the chasing team. And if we go into the Dark Horses scorecard, even though they lost a quick wicket in the very first over, I think a 47 runs partnership for the second wicket between Vishwa and Sahil. I heard Sahil is a new find for this year for Dark Horses, and he's a good player. So we might hear more about this guy Sahil in the coming matches. And like very good contribution of 30 runs from their opener Vishwanath. Like that kept the scoreboard going. I think that almost kind of gave them the momentum. And then even though they lost a few more wickets, they ended up scoring 81 in 5 overs for the loss of 5 wickets in 15 overs. So imagine like 15 overs, like a scoring rate of almost close to 6 runs per over. And an important point to note here is Mahesh did not even come for batting. So you can imagine how quickly the runs were being scored. And then I also see 21 extras from Knights. So maybe that was another factor that helped Dark Horses in the chase. Keeping this, maybe Knights might have to tighten up their bowling, and because this new ball is really traveling, I think they'll have to have more control in their bowling. All that said, I think it was a good win for Dark Horses to start off the season on a positive note. So congrats Dark Horses and all the best to PCA Knights.
Okay, the next one is FCC versus Dynamites. Dynamites. I think they have some curse. They lose very close game, and the worst part is they need 1 run, and so they were all out in 23rd over. Lack of application is what I see. Jassy, your thoughts?
Yeah. So Dynamite batted first, right?
Yes.
Oh, Dynamites batted first. Oh, I thought it's a reverse way. So then I'm bad. Okay, they scored 106 in the first innings, and then FCC chased. Then okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
that's my bad. I did it in a reverse way. Yeah.
So I think coming to this match, I think it was a high-scoring game, or I would say at par game with this new ball. So Dynamites managed to score 106 with smart contributions from Karthik Thinanor, who likes to play in the V. I've seen him bat. He's a good technical batsman who likes to back himself, and I think that's important with this ball in particular. And with a lot of Dynamites player going into other teams, Saurabh, Anil going to Warriors, and Ramesh and Thomas going to SSK, I think. So there are a lot of new faces in this Dynamites. But one player I would like to highlight here is who might not have a good game, the first one, but I think would be one of the best batsmen going forward in this season for Dynamites is Varun Vora. I've seen him bat last year for a couple of games, and this guy really can bat. And he's a fantastic athlete. I mean, it's a delight to see him run between the wickets and apply pressure on the fielders. So I think Dynamites, it's still a decent team. Not sure about the new players, but their captain also contributed well with 15 runs. And I think with this ball already favoring the batsman, I think one thing that bowler can do is to avoid the extras, and I think FCC were in no mood to change that tradition that is, I think, now associated with them, that they cannot give less than 20 extras in any game. I have very rarely seen them giving less extras than 20 runs. So on a given day, I think Amit was the worst in terms of extras, but still they restricted Dynamites to 106, and I think it was then a one-man show in Mahindra, who is a fantastic batsman and again a brilliant striker of the ball, and he almost played an innings of 100 with a strike rate of 100 and made sure that his team gets the 4 important points, though they did not get the bonus. But I think that's a good way to start. But I think FCC may want to look at a few things that they can improve going forward. But I don't think there is too much of disheartening for the Dynamite side, as they are also a pretty decent team.
Okay, the next one is Rising Stars versus Indus Bowls. Imthi.
Yeah, this game was probably the closest fought game for the first week, I think. Real humdinger of a match because it went down to the wire. Indus Bolts won the toss, elected to bat, and then solid start by their openers, Nitya and Rajit. I think they started off well, 15 and 11 respectively, and then I see like good contributions from all the batsmen, so scoring consistently. Like I see standout performance in batting from Ashwani, 29, 27 balls, always scoring run a ball is very important, and like that kind of gives a boost to the batting team always. And then like always, Azim 19 runs down the order, so that are very crucial runs contributing to the total, and I think that helped them scoring that good total of 121. And looks like they played all the 25 overs. I don't know how many extras were bowled because it's not listed in the scorecard, but even then, the scoring itself from all the batsmen kind of looks promising when you see some good scores in the scorecard. So I think it is a very good batting performance from Indus bowlers to start of the season, and helping them score that 121 runs, a very good total. Like we have been telling, this is like mostly the par score in this year. So 121 for 5, that's a very good batting performance. Going into the bowling figures for Rising Stars, I would say it's a decent performance, but I don't see any bowler having economy rate less than 4 runs per over. So I think that will be very common with this new ball, but still not real outstanding figures from any bowlers. Like I see 2 wickets for each bowler, at least 4 other bowlers having 2 wickets. So it was a decent performance, but maybe a standard performance would have reduced the score to maybe another 20-30 runs. But being said that, halfway through the game, 121 runs, chasing 121 runs would have been a very daunting task for Rising Stars. But I think they wanted to take up the challenge and started off their innings. But unfortunately, I think they lost quick wickets. I see the score they were 5 down for 17 runs. Chasing 121, and if you're 17 for 5, that would be a very, very bad morale for the team. But I think it was Prashant, the captain of Rising Stars, had other plans, and I think he kind of stood up and started building a partnership with his other partner, Swami. He's scoring 26 runs. Prashant Patel scoring 32 runs of 34 balls. Chintan Patel 33 runs of 32 balls. If you see all these scores, these are a runner ball, so scoring at a very good pace. And after 5 wickets down, I think that is a very, very great comeback into the game, and that must have put pressure back onto the Indus bowls team. And maybe at one point, maybe even they fancied their chances of winning the game, because, like I said, if they had played the entire 25 overs, looking at the scorecard, they were all out in 24.4 overs. So maybe if they had played those 2 extra balls, they could have ended off on the other side.
Yeah, scoring those winning runs.
So it's you're almost near the finish line, but then you ended up short. So it is so near yet so far. But I think I will really give appreciation to Rising Stars for coming back into the game and putting up such a fighting performance. Kudos to the team. I think Prashant Patel standing up and raising his hand and saying that this is how we have to play, and showing his team how to apply themselves. So I think all in all, it was a very closely fought game. Just going into the stats, bowling figure, I think Akshat was the key, where I think he got them back into the game, picking up those 4 wickets for 13 runs. So when you have some bowler picking up wickets and having an economy rate 2.6, 13 runs in 5 overs, I think that kind of pegged the run rate down and put additional pressure on the batting team. All in all, good performances, a very good game. Congrats to both the teams for the performances, but just Indus bowls got onto the winning side, scoring, getting those 4. Consolation for Rising Stars is a bonus point, I think. But we can look forward to Rising Stars after this performance in this season.
Yeah, I think they are going to do well going forward. Though we are running out of time, I mean, I extended the show another 5 minutes to finish. We have 2 more games and predictions to do. Before I go to our next game, Legends versus MI Rangers, I would like to say happy birthday to Nitya. Instead of saying happy birthday to Nitya, I said Venkat Vadnala. Okay, so that's where I messed it up. Legends versus MI Rangers, Venkat.
Yep. So I think this is a debut game for Legends. I think they definitely did their thoughtful process in how to put the scores and how to chase or how to defend. I think it all worked out well. I mean, kudos to Satish. I think he was trying very hard to bring his team into the league. Even tried last year, couldn't do it. But I think this year I'm happy for him that he's very passionate and bringing the team and bringing some key players into his team was not a simple task. I think that definitely tells that they are a team to watch, and I think I'm pretty sure Legends will definitely surprise a lot of other teams down the road. So I have that confidence because their lineup or their core team on the paper is very solid, and if they do some good partnerships like how exactly they did in this game. I mean, 103. If you leave the 20 extras, I mean, the other 80 runs came from 4 people. I mean, 4 or 5. So that's how teams score. I mean, it's not just one person hitting 90s or hitting 50s. I mean, they might do good, but down the road, if that guy fails, then the whole team fails. So I would rather have teams putting their partnerships together and building high scores rather than an individual scoring mammoth score. But I think that's exactly what happened here, Legends. I mean, Satish himself, Gautam, Arjun, and Praveen, I think they all double digits helped the team to put a decent 100 plus score. And MI Rangers, to my surprise, I mean, the reason I think they got all out for 103 with this ball is for sure is because I always admire the talent of...
MI Rangers were all out for 57. Legends were out for...
I know. The Legends were all out for 103 is because, as I said, I have high respect to the bowling, disciplined bowling by MI Rangers, which I've seen for the last 2 years. I mean, they have the most disciplined bowling attack. All their bowlers put the ball in the right spots and make it tough for the batsman. And I think the reason why we didn't score a high score from Legends is because I think MI Rangers should that credit should go to MI Rangers bowling team. Now, chasing 103 shouldn't be a tough task for MI Rangers. I mean, if you ask me, because they do also have a very good, decent mixture of bowling and batting. And I think kudos again to the Legends. I mean, I think Srikanth, I think Nane, I think probably led the team, although he didn't get any wickets. But his 3 overs, only giving 5 runs with this ball, I think is definitely commendable. And I think that's what I think he led it from the front. Chaitanya getting those 3 wickets for 7 runs, mere 7 runs is decent, actually. I think that definitely put MI Rangers back. And I think other than Jitender, who is the opener and the captain, I think scored 12. But other than that, from the 14 extras, there's nothing on their scoreboard that we can talk about. So it was really a failure, I think. But I'm pretty sure MI Rangers will do their homework and come back strong. Hard luck to them. And congrats to the first win of Legends.
Okay. And the next one is Kites versus Tamil Pasanga. In my opinion, this is the game of the weekend. Okay. So I gave this game to Jasnit just because I want to see how you're going to pronounce that team's name. Jassy.
Yeah, so I think it was a good game, good first game for Tamil Pasanjay. Did I say it right?
No, Tamil Pasange. Gay.
Okay, Tamil Pasange. So yeah, I think this was not at all a bad outing, considering that this was their first game of the DCL. I think they showed some character, or at least glimpses of how they can compete with the teams here. So scoring 76, I think, yes, agree that this is a below par score, but I think they made a match out of it. Bhargav top scored with 24, taking his time, 46 balls. I think played a typical DCL knock, had support from Durga, and I think the other main contribution was from extras, 27. But I think if at least 1 or 2 other batsmen would have got at least double-figure contributions, they would have touched 100, but not to be. So 76 it was, and I think in the halfway they would have tried to back themselves, saying that, okay, we can make a match out of it. But I think they were set back with some good second wicket partnership between Vamsi and Ganesh. But I think Vijay Joseph broke that partnership and got both the set batsmen out. And after that, some impressive bowling from Tanzil and Vinod brought them back into the game. Tanzil taking 3 wickets and Vinod 2, and nobody scoring in double digits. But I think, as is the story in this IPL, most of the time you would be hearing captains saying we were 10-15 short. I think that was what message would be taken out from Tamil Pasange team, that they were 10-15 short, and otherwise they could have had their first victory in their debut match.
Okay. And with that, we covered all the games. Let's quickly take the predictions for the next week. TCA Lions versus TCA Stallions versus Lions. Imthi,
Stallions.
Venkat,
Stallions.
Jassy.
Lions for me.
Okay. Raptors versus FCC Agni. Imthi,
I will go with Raptors.
Venkat,
I'll go with Raptors too.
Jassy.
Yeah, Raptors for me too.
MI Rangers versus KECC. Imthi,
I'll give a chance to KECC.
Venkat.
I'll go with MI Rangers.
Wow, that's awesome. Jassy.
Yeah, I think KECC are being tested at their limit. First match against a very strong batting side, and second match against a very disciplined bowling side. So I think they have their task cut out. But I would say they'll come good this game. I'll back KCC to win this game.
Okay. Bulls versus dark horses. Imthi,
This is a tough call, but I think I'll weigh down on dark horses.
wow. Venkat.
Yeah, I'll go with Dark Horses too.
Okay, you are showing some love there, right? Brotherhood love. Jassy.
I'll go with Bulls because I think Dark Horses team denied Virat Kohli's availability in their matchup.
Do you know who is that Virat Kohli? Virat Kohli?
Yeah, I sent that email to him when he posted on Detroit Cricket League.
Okay. Mustang versus Knockers versus Kites. I'm thinking it is 3-0 Knockers.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is Mustangs versus MCC Miles. I'm thinking MCC Miles.
Again, I think it should be Mustangs, right?
Yeah, Mustangs.
Okay.
Mustangs versus MCC Miles. That is a game. And I'm giving it to MCC Miles. 3-0. Any objections?
Yep.
Okay. Dynamites versus Safaris. Again, I mean, it's a Dynamites 3-0.
Yep.
Gladiators versus Blues. Gladiators 3-0.
Yeah, I think yes, but does anyone know who is now handling Blues team? I mean, I'm asking because Satish is now out with Legends, so.
Sunil Verma.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And Canton 11 versus Pokeries. Imthi,
I'll bank on Pokeries.
Venkat,
Same, Pokeries.
Jassy.
Yeah, I think Pokeries because of their experience, but yes, with the kind of power hitting that Canton 11 possesses at their disposal, so I think this could be a match to look for.
Yeah, and you see, I thought of giving Pokeries 3-0, but when I saw Canton 11s, somehow they have that power hitting capability. So
No, I mean, yeah, I think it would be unfair to Canton 11s. Overlooking at them against any opponent, I would say.
game of the weekend: Troy Hawks versus Risers. Imthi,
This is a tough call too because honestly, I haven't seen or known both of the teams real well, so I'll just go with a pure guess, Risers.
Venkat.
Same way, but I'll go the other way. Troy Hawks.
Okay, Jassy.
Yeah, I'll go with Rises.
Okay, Strikers versus Rising Stars. Imthi.
Looking at Rising Stars' performance, I want to pick the odd one, Rising Stars.
Venkat.
I'll go with Strikers.
Jassy.
Yeah, I'll go with Rising Stars.
I think we shouldn't ask both of them, Jagan.
Yeah, true. And say, let me observe the pattern now. Okay.
But we called for different teams, so I don't think there is a pattern there.
Oh, maybe 1 out of 10, man.
Okay. Avengers versus Legends. I'm giving it to Legends 3-0. Any questions? I mean, any objections?
No.
I'm guessing no.
Yeah, I think it is Legends. But what I heard from Imti's analysis of his match versus Avengers last weekend is that TCA now has 3 teams in the league: Stallions, Knights, and Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Knight Riders Cricket Club versus FHCC. See, I don't know anything about the players that Knight Riders have now, because all those guys, their key guys migrated to Raptors. So I'm giving it to FHCC 3-0.
No, I'll pick KRCC.
Wow, that's awesome. Southfield Super Kings versus Panthers. I'm guessing it is Panthers. 3-0. Okay, the next one and last one of the night is Rockers versus Indus Thunders, and I'm thinking it's 3-0 Indus Thunders. Any objections there?
No, I think that's fair to the champion team.
Okay, so with that we will conclude tonight's show, and good luck to all the teams. Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, Imthi. Thank you, Jasnit. Keep listening DCL Radio. This is DCL Talk Show. Thank you. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Thanks. Good night.